Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Jacob. I'm taking the negotiation and conflict management class. With me today is my friend Mia, and we'll be doing a sort of feedback to a difficult conversation that my wife and I had last week regarding our son's emotions. We had some differing opinions and perspectives, and we didn't really come to an agreement. We agreed to disagree just so we didn't fight. And I wanted to bring that conversation back up because I want us to be able to develop our son's emotional well-being as a united pair, as parents. So I did prepare some opening statements that I wanted to use, and the first one being, um, "Hey, sweetheart, you know that class I was taking, the conflict and negotiations, conflict management. Well, they had an assignment to write a journal about a difficult conversation that you had either in your professional or personal life. And it made me think of a conversation that we had last week regarding Mikey's emotions. And I wanted to know if we could talk about that again. So that's my
That,
first one. What do you think?
that was good. Maybe you could ask how her day was and see how, and kind of like draw her in and like, kind of get her attention. And then,
Okay.
um, but other than that, that was pretty good.
Okay. So I might need to like change the wording around to make it a little smoother, but sort of keep on that same. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Because whenever you ask you about your day, you can be like,
Mhm.
hey, like, remember that class I was taking? Like, that way you guys are both like having input.
Okay. Okay. So I'll, I'll probably rewrite that one, and I wanted to use that as the opener. But if I also wrote another one, it's a little longer. So I was gonna start off with saying, baby, I know, or excuse me, this is pretty hard. Okay, baby, I know that we both care for Mikey very much, and we both want what's best for him. And so what I wanted to talk about was a conversation that we had last week regarding his emotions, and I would like to sort of elaborate on my perspective and why I I think the way that I do about uh, perhaps teaching him instead of trying to make him hard, teaching him how to deal with his emotions effectively. And I agree with what you said in regards to him being able to express his emotions freely and not feel so ashamed. And I agree with that. So if you'll if you have the time, I would like to discuss this a little more.
I like that one, and I liked how you use like the we instead of like where you could have said I or like
Okay.
anything like that. I liked that you did that. Um, you could also use like I wonders or like
Okay.
what if whenever you um, go into like you sort of go into detail. That way she feels included. So
Hmm.
that way she doesn't feel like you have like total control over that
Okay.
conversation. So
So something like I'm wondering how we can develop a strategy to teach him these things.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I
I
know
think
one
that.
of your fears was like of him being bullied,
Yeah.
and so you can also use that. You can incorporate that as well because if like you guys both are his parents and you're his
Hmm.
protectors, and so that'll also bring you closer together in that conversation. I
Okay.
believe.
Okay. That makes sense. As mm. when I actually do have this conversation, I'm hoping it goes just as smoothly. Um, Give me a second. I had some notes here, and so two things that um, the second part was asking learning questions, and this one I was gonna ask if uh, so looking back at the conversation that we had, we didn't agree because we didn't understand each other, and that's sort of my conclusion. And I feel very strongly about that. So I was gonna say, is there something that you think that I'm not understanding? Can you elaborate on what your stance is so that I know, so that I understand? Can you break it down for me?
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second one was
Or you could ask, can you help me understand better?
yeah. Can you help me understand? I think that would. Um, and the second one was I was gonna just straight ask her, is like, look, I know there's something that I'm not quite getting from your perspective, so I just want you to explain. No,
Well, you could say, like, I see you and I hear you.
okay,
Just, is there something that I can understand better?
yeah. Or the second one I can say is, can we take some time to sort of share some views with each other and see if we can't find some common ground? That one probably worked better.
Yeah.
This might actually go really well. So there is a chance that we're me and my wife are pretty strong-willed people, and we have butted heads in the past about issues that are either this serious or maybe a little more. And so I am anticipating maybe a little tension. So two things that I came up with that I can say if it gets pretty escalated and there's a chance that it might break out into an argument are I feel like we're kind of getting off track here, and I do feel a lot of tension. I think we should just take a moment, let's take a few minutes and separate for a little bit, calm down, and then we can come back and continue the discussion.
It's good.
Yeah.
That way you guys can like regulate y'all's emotions as a team,
Yeah.
and then come back and go back into the discussion.
Yeah. And so, and if that doesn't work, I mean, I can also say something that she has mentioned before is that she has told me that I have a hard time apologizing. And so I think I'll just lead with that. And it's like, if I said something to make you mad, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm trying to do. Let's try and get back on track and focus more on Mikey.
Yeah. Basically, I could say, I'm sorry I upset you. Let's bring it back to Mikey.
Yeah. And I'm hoping this works because I feel like it's a conversation that needs to happen. But anyways, continuing on. Oh, well, I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So this conversation is gonna happen. I mean, it has to, and I feel more prepared and not as anxious. And now that I have a better grasp on how to respond and even just start the conversation, I think I'm ready. But I appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I appreciate your feedback as well.
Of course.
Thank
Thank you. Good luck.
you. Yeah.